I want to go straight across to Vishnu Jain, advocate for the Hindu side. We also have Dushyant Sridhar, Vedic speaker and writer, and Atikur Rahman, an Islamic scholar. Let me first begin with you, Mr. Jain. How significant in the overall scheme of things and in the scheme of the case is today's development?
I feel it's a very, very important and major development in this case, because as we all know that this case was filed on 25th of September 2020, and from past more than 3.5 years we are struggling to get an important order, which is a case like this, because we are talking about history past thousands of years old, and we have belief, faith and astha and continuity of worship in this very place. And to decide the actual factual position, it is very, very important to have a survey by the Advocate Commissioner, because we have alleged in our application that there are many signs and symbols which are of Hindu deities and Hindu signs and symbols which are present in the so-called Shahi Idgah Mosque. And if you will minutely examine the plinth of Sri Krishna Janmabhoomi temple as well as the plinth of Shahi Idgah Mosque, both plinths are the same. This is not a fresh construction or a new construction. All the foundations are of a Hindu temple, and if the survey will be conducted and detailed inquiry and investigation will be conducted, it will be proved to hilt that a temple was demolished and a mosque was constructed after demolishing a Hindu temple, as was ordered by Aurangzeb in 1670 in Majlis-e Alamgiri.
Well, Atikur Rahman, let me ask you, you're a scholar, you're a reasonable person. Why is the Hindu community being made to prove its beliefs and customs and, quite frankly, the existence of its civilization? What are we doing? Atikur Rahman.
Well, Rahul, with full regards to all the faiths in India, in particular, in this case, the Hindu faith, there are a couple of questions when you are questioning the usurpation of a Mughal emperor Aurangzeb. If Aurangzeb had usurped his powers, what are we doing right now? Are we not usurpating the Act of 1991, Places of Worship Act? Are the people who are going time and again with all sorts of disputed lands saying that the Janmstan of Sri Krishna and Janmstan of various other deities is there or not there, and the land was usurped by the Mughal emperors? Are they not in usurpation of the powers of the courts, which the courts itself has granted to the agreeing parties in 1968? And a very important question here is, where were Mr. Vishnu Jain and his likes all along? Why don't you club your claims together? Why they didn't club this along with the Ayodhya dispute? They have 40 temples across India. They are claiming that they have to be, given back to the Hindus. Why are you, giving this slow point to the people of India? And as rightly asked by the Supreme Court in the Ayodhya matter, how long will you, spread this poison of hate in the name of religion? Because the courts are not there to correct historical wrongs.
Oh, I see.
I have no qualms, Rahul,
okay,
that you go by law.
Okay.
But what the law right now stands, 1991 Places of Worship Act and the Iqrarnama,
Atikur
which is
Rahman,
irrevocable.
Just hold your thoughts. It's not Rahul Shiv Shankar who's ordered the survey. It's not Vishnu Jain who's ordered the survey. It is not even our Vedic scholar and good friend Dushyant Sridhar who has ordered the survey. It's the courts themselves. Go, speak to the courts. But you say, what about the usurpation that is happening of a legitimate law like the Place of Worship Act 1991? Now let me tell you, sir, if that is the case, then do you believe everything that flows from Parliament is sacrosanct? Then should I ask you, sir, is the CAA legal? It was also promulgated in Parliament, sir. Is the NRC that will flow from it also, therefore, in your books justifiable? Is the Shah Bano judgment acceptable to you? Is the Shah Bano judgment acceptable to you, sir? Is Triple Talaq judgment acceptable to you also?
Right. May I come in, Rahul? Rahul, that's a very, very important and good point. And along I was asking that why don't the Modi government in a very, very simple way repeal or amend the 1991
No, viewers, he will not answer. You will not answer. I asked you a question. Now you put it back on Modi government. If Modi government does it, excuse me. No, 1 second. Mr. Atikur Rahman, 1 second. I asked you a simple question. You say that we are all in the business of usurping the Place of Worship Act, which has been promulgated as a law by Parliament. So I asked you that laws that you have objected to, the CA, by that logic, should also be acceptable to you. But you won't answer that question. Now you'll put the ball back in Modi's court. You see, Modi can't become your pin cushion for everything. Make up your mind. 1 second.
The government,
Viewers,
Modi,
I began
sir.
this interview with Mr. Rahman by asking a simple question. Does anyone ask Mr. Rahman when the people he reveres were born, what date, where? Anyone asks them for proof? No. So why should Hindus be asked constantly? Do we ask whether Jesus Christ, can you show proof, was born in a particular place on the 25th of December in a particular year? No, no one asks that. It is assumed that yes, someone has belief, let them have that belief. That belief is sacrosanct. But Hindus have to keep going like beggars to courts, and worse, viewers, like accused of mendacity almost. Prove what?
All
Prove that we were Hindus
together.
before the colonizers
Club
came.
all claims together once and for
Okay,
all.
let me bring in Dushyant. Let me bring in Dushyant Sridhar. No, 1 second. Let me get the opening thoughts. I only asked you a rhetorical question, sir. I didn't get your answer. You went off on a tangent. So, what do you make of all of this drama that Hindus have to constantly do to prove that we existed, that we exist as a civilization?
Namaskaram Rahul, and namaskaram to my fellow panelists, and namaskaram to all my viewers. At two levels I would like to take up this question. One, about the proof that they keep asking. We don't have any problem because we have plenty. One, the Agama Shastras do talk about Paravasudeva, his different forms. But when we speak of the word Vasudeva, it occurs very widely in many forms of literature. Especially the Paninian grammar, Ashtadhyayi of the 5th century BCE says, Vasudeva Arjunabhyam Vun. So it does talk about the worship of Vasudeva, who is Vasudevasya Puman, the son of Vasudeva. Then we have the 2nd century column, Heliodorus pillar, that talks about Devatam Devatanam Vasudevaha. The one who is the god of gods is Vasudeva. Then we have various other references, even in the regional literature, referring to Krishna, Hari Krishna, whom even the Greeks called as Hercules.
Yes.
So we have such references. Let's keep the literary and the scriptural evidence aside. I'm just going to tell you, Rahul, you did quote at the start. In 1071, Muhammad Ghazni plundered Mathura, and we have one reference where Al-Utubi says, this temple which was plundered and looted and desecrated will take 200 years for us to build, and it will take 2000 dinars, and in this temple were found 5 idols of gold of Vishnu. So it must be referring to the Vyuha forms of Vishnu. Then we had it desecrated again. In 1150 we had it built by Jajja, and again it was desecrated by Ghori's general Qutbuddin Aibak. Then we have notes of Ferishta and Abdullah, who are chroniclers, who said that these temples were converted into warehouses. And we have one interesting reference, Rahul, where Abdullah says that the idols which were taken from Katra Keshavadeva temple were kept as weights for the meat butchers. So if they have to give away meat, they use the idols, the stone idols, as weights. Then in Aurangzeb's account,
I think we've documented, Mr. Sridhar, we've documented the historical record. The reason this continues, viewers, I'll tell you.
One thing,
I'll tell you why. Because we allow it.
Rahul,
I'll take a short break. No, 1 second. I'm coming back because I want to come back to both of you, Vishnu Jain as well as you. Let me quickly come back. Yes. Let's take a short break, viewers. Coming right back.